6 female weaknesses men can use to their advantage. Old Stoic Wisdom. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Plato. Understanding women is not as elusive as society often portrays. Far too many men struggle with the idea that women are impossible to understand, largely because they've been taught the wrong narrative. Women's desires, their actions, and even their contradictions are often misread because of the misleading stories we've been told. But the truth is much more straightforward to understand women. You must first understand their weaknesses, not to exploit them, but to achieve genuine control over your life and relationships. Today, we're going to explore 6 critical vulnerabilities every man must recognize and learn to navigate. These insights, drawn from both modern understanding and timeless Stoic wisdom, will empower you to become the man that women respect, desire, and most importantly, can't resist. If you find yourself constantly feeling like you're out of sync in your relationships, or if you're puzzled by the unpredictable nature of female behavior, this is for you. Many men wonder why women's actions don't always align with their words, but the key lies in understanding the psychological forces at play. Women will rarely admit these weaknesses, but once you learn to spot them, you'll gain a newfound confidence and insight into how to approach them effectively. And no, this isn't about manipulating or playing games. It's about mastering the core truths that shape female behavior and applying them in a way that makes you a stronger, more decisive man. Let's explore these 6 hidden weaknesses and how you can use them to your advantage without compromising respect or integrity. By the end of this discussion, you'll understand not only how to avoid common pitfalls, but also how to cultivate the qualities that make you an irresistible presence in the lives of the women around you. Number 1. Emotional validation is her greatest weakness. Men. There's something you need to understand. Emotional validation is a woman's greatest weakness. It's not a critique, it's simply the truth. Women, at their core, are emotional beings. This is neither a flaw nor an insult. It's just the way they are. Their emotions govern their decisions, influence their connections, and shape their entire worldview. In relationships, whether it's casual, dating, or marriage, emotional validation is the key that unlocks her heart. Without it, you're just another guy in the background, easily overlooked, easily forgotten. But with it, you transform into a presence she can't shake, a man she can't stop thinking about. When a woman feels emotionally validated, her defenses crumble. She doesn't see you as just someone to talk to anymore. You become her rock, her anchor in a world that sometimes feels like it's spinning out of control. But here's where most men get it wrong. They think that because they're logical beings, the key to a woman's heart lies in fixing things. She comes home upset, venting about her day, and instead of hearing her out, you immediately jump into problem-solving mode. You think you're helping by offering solutions, but in reality, you're completely missing the point. She doesn't need a fixer, she needs a listener. Imagine this: she's upset because her boss didn't recognize her efforts. Most men will say, "Don't worry about it," or "just ignore it." What does that do? It dismisses her emotions. It tells her, "What you're feeling doesn't matter to me." Even though you think you're being helpful, you're actually creating distance. But when you take the time to say, "It sounds like you put in so much effort, and it's frustrating not to get the recognition you deserve," you've just given her the most powerful gift you can: emotional validation. You're not agreeing with everything she says, but you're recognizing her feelings as real. That small shift will make her feel closer to you. Emotional validation isn't just about the words you speak. It's about your actions and presence. Your tone, body language, and ability to listen without interrupting are all part of the package. If she's opening up about something that's bothering her, put down your phone, make eye contact, and nod in understanding. Those subtle gestures show her that you're fully present, and that alone means more than any advice you could ever offer. Let me make this crystal clear. Validation is not a weakness. It doesn't mean you're pandering to her emotions or sacrificing your own sense of self. What it does mean is that you're strong enough to handle her emotions with grace and without losing your composure. a man who can hold space for a woman's emotions while maintaining his own iron mind, commands respect. And that's the kind of man she'll respect, admire, and desire. Some men might feel that acknowledging her emotions is somehow giving in or letting her control the situation. But let me ask you, what's stronger? Disregarding her feelings and creating distance, or recognizing her emotions and building a deep connection? Strength, real strength, isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about facing them head-on, with confidence. Take this scenario: she's venting about a disagreement with a friend. The typical male response might be to offer advice or try to minimize the situation. But what if you said, "It sounds like that conversation really hurt you. I can see why it's bothering you in that moment." You're not just validating her emotions, you're proving that you can truly understand her, that you see her and respect her feelings. This is the kind of man who becomes irreplaceable. Validation is more than a skill. It's a mindset. It's about understanding that emotions aren't problems to be solved, but signals to be understood. When you adopt this mindset, something incredible happens. She begins to trust you more, respect you more, and desire you more. Women don't need a perfect man, they need a present man. A man who can sit with her emotions, who can understand and accept her without trying to change her, is the man who becomes her safe space. And here's the thing. When you do this, you'll find that relationships become infinitely more rewarding. It's not about bending to her every whim or losing yourself in her emotions. It's about standing strong with your iron mind while offering her the emotional support she needs. In doing so, you'll build a bond stronger than anything built on mere logic or problem-solving. The Old Stoic Wisdom teaches us that true strength lies in emotional control, not in emotional avoidance. When you can offer her that emotional validation while holding on to your own steady, unshakable self, you win her respect. And in that respect, you'll find a connection that goes beyond words. Number 2, she's obsessed with being understood. A woman's deepest fear isn't rejection, nor is it abandonment. It's not being understood. This deep-seated need for understanding drives almost every interaction, every argument, every frustration she experiences. You see, women crave connection, but at the core of that connection is the need to feel that someone truly gets them. If you ever find yourself in a fight that feels like it came out of nowhere, chances are it wasn't about what you said. It was about how you made her feel. In fact, when she says, "You don't listen to me," what she's really saying is, "You don't see me." This is where most men fail. They hear the words, but miss the deeper meaning. They respond defensively, argue back, or try to rationalize the situation, unaware they are walking into a trap of their own making. Being understood is not just a preference for women, it's an urgent need. If you fail to fulfill this need, no amount of grand gestures, expensive gifts, or compliments will ever fill the void. You'll always fall short, and she'll feel like something is missing in the relationship, like you're not the man she thought you were. But when you show her that you do understand, you'll create a bond so deep that no one else can compete. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything she says, nor does it mean abandoning your own logic or allowing her to dictate the relationship. It simply means listening to her, not just to her words, but to the emotions that lie behind them. It's about showing her that her feelings matter to you, even if you don't share them. Imagine this scenario: she's upset because of a conversation with her friend. She says, "I feel like she's always dismissing me." Now, most men would dismiss this by saying something like, "You're overthinking it," or "She probably didn't mean it like that." In doing so, they've just confirmed her worst fear, that you don't understand her, and that you don't care enough to try. But if instead you said, "It sounds like you're hurt because you feel unappreciated in that friendship," you've just done something most men fail to do. You've shown her that you understand her feelings. You've made her feel heard, and that small change in approach could completely alter the dynamic between you two. Here's the deeper reality when a woman shares her frustrations. She's not just venting, she's testing you. She's looking for a man who can handle her emotions, who won't crumble when things get difficult. This is where the Stoic principles come into play. A true man, according to Stoic rules, doesn't let his emotions control him. He rises above them, finding clarity and strength in the face of emotional turmoil. When you respond to her emotions with understanding, calmness, and stability, you pass the test. If you fail, however, over time, that lack of understanding will erode her respect and, ultimately, her attraction to you. This obsession with being understood is not just about the big, dramatic conversations or the blowout fights. It's woven into the fabric of daily life. It's about the little things, too. It's about how you respond when she tells you about her day, whether you notice when she's feeling off, even if she doesn't say anything. It's about noticing when she's nervous about an upcoming meeting and offering her emotional support in a way that makes her feel validated. A man who doesn't understand her might say, "You'll do fine," and move on. But a man who truly gets her will ask, "What's making you nervous?" He will take the time to dig deeper and acknowledge her feelings. And when he does that, he's showing her that he sees her, not just as a woman, but as a person with fears, dreams, and vulnerabilities. This, my friend, is what separates the men who truly connect with women from those who fail to do so. Don't mistake this understanding for weakness. Being a man who understands women doesn't mean letting her emotions control you. It doesn't mean sacrificing your own sense of self or boundaries. It means being strong enough to hold space for her emotions without being consumed by them. It means showing her that you can handle her at her worst without losing your composure. And that kind of strength, remaining calm and steady in the face of emotional turbulence, is rare. Most men crumble when faced with a woman's emotions. They either get defensive, shut down, or try to solve the problem quickly to avoid facing the discomfort. But a truly strong man, one who follows the principles of practical stoicism, stays composed, listens attentively, and responds with clarity and confidence. Let's be clear, a woman will forgive a lot of things, but she will never forgive feeling misunderstood. She'll forgive mistakes, arguments, even moments of weakness. But once she feels invisible to the one person she values most, she will start to pull away. And once that happens, regaining her trust becomes incredibly difficult, if not impossible. So, here's the crux of it. Don't underestimate the power of understanding. Don't think that just listening to her words is enough. Don't assume that you can buy her affection or win her over with surface-level gestures. If you want to build a deeper connection with her, you must show her that you truly understand her, not just as a woman, but as a person, with her unique thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect, nor does it mean you'll always say the right thing, but it does mean you have to try. You must be willing to listen, ask thoughtful questions, and show her that her feelings matter. When you make this your goal, you'll find that she'll begin to trust you more, open up to you more, and depend on you in ways she never has with anyone else. Understanding isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. It's about shifting your perspective and recognizing that her emotions are not problems to be fixed, but opportunities for connection. When you embrace this mindset, everything changes. She starts to see you as the man who truly gets her, the man who stands out among all others. And in that moment, you solidify your place in her heart. A man who understands a woman in this way is a man who cannot be replaced. If you found this insightful, take a moment to like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Comment to remember, I am the man who truly understands. Number 3. Confidence attracts, but control repels. Confidence is a force that commands respect. It's magnetic, drawing people toward you and setting you apart from the crowd. For a man, it is an unspoken strength that tells the world you are a leader, someone who can make decisions, stand firm in your values, and pursue your desires without hesitation. But there's a line that must not be crossed. Confidence can quickly transform into control, and once that happens, it backfires. It's easy to slip into the trap of thinking that, to maintain power, You must dominate. But that's a dangerous misconception. When confidence turns into control, it suffocates the very thing you desire, her admiration. Control sends the message that you see her as a possession, not as a partner. Women are naturally drawn to a confident man because it makes them feel safe. A confident man is someone who inspires trust, someone who makes decisions without hesitation and without the need for external validation. But a controlling man, on the other hand, isn't leading, he's imposing. He demands rather than invites. Control isn't strength, it's insecurity disguised as dominance, and women can see right through it. Understand this: women crave freedom. They value their independence, their ability to make choices, and their space to grow. They want a man who can complement their strength with his own, not someone who seeks to overpower them. That is why it's so important to understand the difference between leading and dominating. Leading is about guiding with clarity and confidence while respecting her autonomy. Dominating is about forcing your will upon her, leaving no room for her voice or choices. The former builds trust, admiration, and respect. The latter destroys it. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." A confident man, then, is someone who knows his own worth and respects the freedom of others, especially the woman by his side. He doesn't feel the need to control because he understands that true power lies in self-control, in trusting himself to handle whatever comes his way. Let's talk about how this plays out in modern relationships. Imagine you've made plans for a date, but she wants to spend time with her friends. A confident man won't throw a tantrum or insist that she change her plans. He understands that his worth isn't dependent on her constant availability. He will adjust, be understanding, and move on without feeling slighted. A controlling man, however, will push back, demand that she cancel her plans, and make her feel guilty for having a life outside of him. In doing so, he reveals his insecurity, his fear, and his need to dominate. Control is fear. It's not strength. And women can sense it immediately. They don't want a man who needs to control everything, because that is a man who doesn't trust himself, who is afraid of losing her. Confidence, on the other hand, doesn't waver. It's steady, unshaken by external circumstances. A confident man trusts in his ability to handle whatever challenges life throws at him, without feeling the need to control or dominate anyone in the process. A man who is truly confident doesn't just show it in his actions, he shows it in his body language, his tone, his ability to maintain eye contact, and how he handles adversity. When things go wrong, he adapts, he stays calm, he doesn't panic or crumble under pressure. He knows how to deal with setbacks and challenges because his worth is not tied to the outcome. A controlling man, on the other hand, will try to manipulate the situation, trying to force things to go his way. He won't allow room for flexibility or compromise. Confidence, however, thrives in uncertainty because it is rooted in self-assurance, in the knowledge that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Think about what happens in a relationship when things go wrong. Imagine she's upset about something that didn't go her way. A confident man will listen to her, validate her feelings, and offer support without trying to fix her emotions or dismiss them as unimportant. He simply stands firm, showing her that he can handle her at her most vulnerable. A controlling man, however, will likely try to shut her down, telling her she's overreacting or that she needs to calm down. In doing so, he exposes his own weaknesses, his inability to handle her emotions, and his need to control the situation. Women are incredibly perceptive. They can tell when a man is truly secure in himself and when he's overcompensating out of fear or insecurity. The moment they sense control creeping in, they start to pull away. This isn't because they don't want a strong man. It's because they want a man who is strong enough to respect their independence, a man who values their freedom just as much as his own. And that is the true path of wisdom. Confidence is about knowing yourself. It's about being secure enough in who you are that you don't need to control the people around you to feel powerful. You know your worth, and you don't need external validation. You make decisions with respect for others, and you set boundaries without hesitation. But you also understand that the path of wisdom isn't always easy. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone, to take risks, and to be okay with the possibility of failure because your value doesn't depend on the outcome. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough as you are. When you carry this kind of energy into your relationships, it changes everything. Women will see you as the man who can handle any challenge, who can lead without diminishing her voice, who respects her independence while offering support and stability. And that's the kind of man a woman wants by her side. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about walking around as if you are better than everyone else. It's about quiet self-assurance, a belief in yourself that is unshaken by the opinions of others. It's about being secure enough to let her be herself without feeling threatened. It's about creating a space where she can thrive, knowing that you are strong enough to stand beside her, not above her. This is what makes you truly irresistible. When you master this balance between confidence and control, you become the man women can't resist. They are drawn to you because you have something that most men don't: the ability to lead without dominating, to stand firm without crushing their spirit. You will not only attract women, you will keep them because you will be the man who respects their strength and values their independence while remaining confident in your own. That is the path of wisdom. That is how you win. So, remember, confidence is not about control. It is about trust. Trust in yourself and trust in her. When you can lead without dominating, when you can give her the space to be herself without fear of losing her, you will become the man every woman dreams of. This is the essence of Stoicism, the wisdom of Epictetus, and the way to truly win in life and love. Number 4. Her desire for security is a hidden driver. Let's break it down with a bit of Old Stoic wisdom. Women crave security. This is not just some preference, it's wired into their very DNA. Centuries of evolution have carved this need deep into her psyche. Back in the day, it was about survival, finding a man who could protect and provide. That need hasn't changed, even though the world has. Now, women seek it in ways that go beyond the obvious, beyond just money or material things. The real power lies in emotional, mental, and physical security. This is the secret, and if you understand it, you unlock a level of loyalty and devotion that is nearly impossible to find. But if you fail to provide it, well, that's when the cracks begin to show. Emotional security comes first. If a woman feels emotionally safe with you, she'll give you access to her true self. That's right. She'll let her guard down, show vulnerability, and connect with you in ways that go beyond skin deep. You must be able to hold her emotions steady, not dismiss them. When she's overwhelmed by life, stress from work, family drama, or her own insecurities, how do you respond? Do you push her away, or do you stay calm, listen, and show her that you're her unwavering rock? Be that steady presence. Women don't want a man who crumbles under pressure. They want someone who stands tall when the storm hits, who doesn't run from conflict, but meets it head-on with confidence. That's the emotional security that solidifies trust. But that's just part of the equation. You must also provide mental security. This is where many men miss the mark. It's not enough to say the right things. It's about what you do. If you promise her something, follow through. She needs to know she can count on you, not just when it's convenient, but when life throws curveballs. The true test of a man's mental security lies in his actions. For example, if you've planned a date and something unexpected comes up, a man who provides mental security will communicate openly, reschedule, and ensure she knows she is still a priority. A man who fails in this regard will cancel last minute, leaving her questioning her place in your life. Inconsistent behavior, no matter how small, is unforgivable. She needs someone who is grounded, who keeps their word, and who shows up, not just when it suits him. Now, let's talk about physical security. You don't need to be a muscle-bound bodybuilder, but you must exude strength, inner strength. It's how you handle yourself, how you carry yourself, how you react when things get tough. Do you crumble when faced with conflict? Or do you face it head-on with calm determination? Women notice this. They assess your ability to protect them, to stand firm in the face of adversity, and to handle life's challenges with poise. Whether it's a tense situation at work or a conflict with a stranger, how you respond matters. Be that strong, composed man, the one who remains unshaken and dependable. When you embody this sense of physical security, it radiates from you, creating an aura that women instinctively gravitate towards. But remember, the Old Stoic Wisdom isn't about being a tyrant. It's about being a rock, not a dictator. Security doesn't mean controlling her. It means providing her with the freedom to grow, to pursue her own path, while knowing that you'll be there when she needs you. True security allows her to be herself without fear of abandonment or judgment. It's the kind of security that lets her take risks, face her fears, and grow stronger as a person, all the while knowing you'll be her anchor. Now, if you live with an iron mind, steady, unshakable, reliable, you create a presence in her life that she will never want to leave. It's a rare kind of man who can provide that level of security. And that's the kind of man who builds lifelong, unbreakable connections. She'll trust you, open up to you, and lean on you when the world gets chaotic. You'll become her protector, her safe haven. And that kind of relationship, it lasts a lifetime. So don't just think you can provide security through grand gestures or flashy words. It's the consistency, the emotional strength, the unshakable mental fortitude that will win her over. Be that man, the one who radiates stability, and she'll be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button, share it with someone who could benefit, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on becoming the best version of yourself. Now, here's something to reflect on. I am the unwavering rock in the storm. Drop that affirmation in the comments below to engage with the channel and remind yourself of the power of security in relationships. Your strength is your greatest asset. Embrace it. Number 5. She's overwhelmed by her own emotions. Women are emotional creatures, but don't mistake this for a weakness. It's not a flaw. It's a defining feature of their psychology. Emotions are the driving force behind their actions, their decisions, and how they see the world. What many men fail to realize, however, is that women don't always have control over these emotions. They experience feelings with an intensity that most men can't even begin to comprehend. And when those emotions overwhelm her, it's like she's trapped in a storm, trying to navigate waters she's never been taught to sail. Now, this is where you come in, not as her savior, but as her anchor. When a woman is drowning in her emotions, don't think it's about fixing her problems or throwing logic at her. She doesn't need a solution at that moment. What she needs is a man who can stand firm, who isn't tossed about by the waves of her feelings. She needs someone who can handle the chaos, who can remain unshaken. You must be the calm in her emotional storm. This is a crucial Stoic rule. Don't be moved by external forces, no matter how strong they may be. You must show her that she's safe to express herself, without fear of judgment, without rejection. Think about it. The last time she lashed out, maybe over something that seemed small to you, like you forgetting to text back or being distracted by something else. To you, it might seem trivial, but for her, it's a much deeper issue. It's not about the surface problem. It's about deeper insecurities, fears, and unmet needs she can't always articulate. If you dismiss her feelings or react in frustration, you risk confirming her worst fear that you don't understand her, that you don't care enough to truly listen. Instead, stay calm. Don't rush to fix things. Acknowledge her emotions. Let her know you're there, that you understand the depth of what she's feeling. A simple, "I see how much this is affecting you," or "I'm here for you, no matter what," can go a long way. These are the practical Stoicism techniques that allow you to stay grounded while showing her the compassion and support she needs. This isn't about being passive, about being soft or submissive. It's about being strong enough to remain grounded while she works through her emotions. When you can do this, you become the man who stands out from the rest, the man who doesn't get defensive, who doesn't shut down or who doesn't crumble under the pressure. Women are used to men who either try to fix everything or avoid conflict. When you show her that you can handle her emotions with poise, with confidence, you create a bond that's deeper than anything she's ever experienced before. A woman's emotional overload often stems from a sense of powerlessness. When she feels like she's losing control, her emotions can spiral. That's where you come in. It's not about solving her problems. It's about providing a sense of stability, a solid foundation she can lean on. She needs to feel that no matter how chaotic the world gets, you'll be there to help guide her back to calm. A man who can handle this is a rare man. He doesn't retreat from her emotional chaos. Instead, he listens. He validates her feelings. He shows her that she's not alone. Imagine she's stressed out from work, overwhelmed by family obligations, or just facing life's everyday challenges. She might lash out or withdraw. Most men, unsure of how to handle the situation, would either try to fix it or distance themselves from the emotional storm. But the strong man, the man who practices Stoic principles, sees these moments as opportunities to deepen the connection. He listens, he validates, he reminds her of her strength, he stays steady while she's lost in the turmoil, and he does not get pulled into the madness. This kind of emotional stability makes you invaluable to her. She begins to see you as her safe space, the person she can turn to when the world feels overwhelming. As she opens up to you in ways she's never opened up to anyone else, you build a level of intimacy that many men never experience. This isn't about weakness, it's about strength. Strength to stay firm while giving her the freedom to be vulnerable without judgment or rejection. By practicing practical stoicism and applying Stoic rules to the relationship, you're not just becoming a man she can rely on in a crisis. You're becoming the man she trusts above all others. She'll start to see you as the rock she can hold on to when everything else feels unstable. She'll lean on you because she knows you can withstand the storms of life, and that kind of stability creates a connection that's unshakable. When you become the man who can handle her emotions, you unlock a level of intimacy and trust that's rare and profound. You show her that you can stand by her side, unwavering, when the world feels like it's crumbling. This is not a weakness. This is the strength of a man who knows his value, his purpose, and his principles. This is the power of Stoic wisdom in practice. So, the next time she's overwhelmed by her emotions, don't panic, don't run away, don't try to fix everything, just listen. Stand firm, be the man she can rely on, and she will see you as the one man she can't live without. And that's the kind of man every woman dreams of being with. Number 6. Her need for adventure and spontaneity. In the paths of wisdom, it is crucial to understand the inner workings of those around you, especially women. Epictetus, the ancient Stoic philosopher, reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In relationships, the key to mastery is understanding the psychological forces that drive behavior, particularly the often hidden needs of women. There are 6 female weaknesses that men must comprehend and use wisely, not for manipulation, but for building deeper, more fulfilling connections. The first weakness to understand is emotional validation. Women are driven by their emotions, and the need for emotional recognition is fundamental to their well-being. If you dismiss her feelings, you create a gap. If you validate her emotions and make her feel heard and understood, you build trust and loyalty. Acknowledge her emotions, not because they make sense to you, but because they are real to her. As Epictetus wisely stated, "He who is not a good servant will not be a good master." To truly lead in a relationship, you must be able to serve her emotions with the same dedication that you expect for yourself. The second weakness is the overwhelming desire to be understood. A woman's deepest fear is not being seen or heard by those she cares about. When she expresses frustration, it's not about the issue at hand. It's about being misunderstood. She needs a partner who listens, not a man who deflects or tries to fix everything. True connection is formed when you acknowledge her feelings and show that you comprehend her emotional landscape. Don't dismiss her concerns. Instead, listen, absorb, and validate. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you understand her, you not only advance the relationship, but also become the man she truly respects. The third weakness is the balance between confidence and control. Confidence is magnetic, but when confidence turns to control, it triggers resistance. Women are drawn to strong men who lead without domination. A confident man understands the fine line between leading and controlling. It's about showing strength while respecting her independence. Confidence is calm, unwavering, and decisive. Control is based on insecurity and fear. Be the man who leads with respect and consideration. You must remember that a true leader never forces his will upon others, but instead guides with clarity and strength. The fourth weakness lies in the primal need for security. Every woman longs for emotional, mental, and physical security. You must understand that this goes beyond financial stability. It's about being her anchor in turbulent times. A woman wants a man who remains steadfast when things get tough. Show her that you are reliable, dependable, and will always be her rock. Do not be swayed by distractions, and be the unshakable foundation she can lean on. As the Stoics teach us, he who has a reason to live can bear almost any how. The moment you fulfill her need for security, you will earn her trust and loyalty. Finally, her desire for adventure and spontaneity is a hidden yet powerful driver. Women crave excitement, unpredictability, and novelty in their relationships. This does not mean being reckless, but it does mean breaking free from the monotony and adding excitement to her world. Take risks, plan surprises, and keep the relationship dynamic. When you inject fun and unpredictability into the mix, it keeps her intrigued, excited, and invested. The combination of stability and adventure creates a powerful bond that will stand the test of time. Remember that the wise man understands the value of both security and adventure. Balance is key. Do not underestimate the importance of surprise and spontaneous joy in her life. In the paths of wisdom, a man who can combine all these elements, emotional validation, understanding, confidence, security, and adventure, becomes unstoppable. You will become the man she cannot resist. You will lead with strength, make her feel heard, provide unwavering security, and keep her life filled with excitement. As Epictetus teaches, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you master these weaknesses, you will not only master the dynamics of your relationships, you will master your life. Hey there, thanks for watching. Remember, these 6 weaknesses aren't things to exploit. They're truths to understand. When you truly grasp them, you're not only going to improve your relationships, but you'll become a stronger, more confident man. You'll stop chasing and start leading. You'll stop reacting and start making decisions. And above all, you'll become the kind of man who commands respect, admiration, and desire. If this message resonated with you, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. By subscribing, you're not just supporting this channel, you're helping spread knowledge that society often keeps hidden from us. Stay strong, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.